Okay, so I have an idea. We climb one of these windmills and hide.
Yeah. Good
That's
idea.
brilliant! That's never failed before. Brothers and sisters in VR. If you are like me, you find yourself unerringly sucking at VR multiplayer games wherein a competitive element is involved. Yeah, we can hunt ghosts with friends in Phasmophobia, charge an entrenched enemy position with an army at our backs in War Dust, or even sit and have long, deep conversations in VR chat. But those of us who grew up on what can now be called traditional video games, wherein we had to solve problems within the scope of the game world, and more importantly within its limits, a massive point has become blatantly obvious. We, the flat screen generation, are not of this world. We come from a world of rules and limits. We have to beat the game from within the parameters set by the game itself. My mind harkens back to the first game that had possibilities beyond my own limited imagination. To solve the problems and remove the obstacles impeding me. And that was Divinity: Original Sin. This was the first time that I was totally, unequivocally stumped. Laugh at me if you will. I don't claim to be the most intelligent, nor do I claim to be able to think like a developer. But I refuse to look up guides and such, because in the end, that means that the game has beaten me. And that's not what games, to my mind, are meant to do. They are meant to be beaten. The vast majority of us have never had to experience the duck and cover tactical gunplay that plagues games like Population 1. We naturally think, I am behind object, therefore I am safe. And the next thing you know, a shot out of nowhere takes our heads off. We did not grow up in this environment. We know in our gamer heart of hearts that hide behind object equals invulnerability to gunfire. And the real-life physical aspects of the game, wherein I can see enemy, therefore my head is exposed, and reasonably it can be blasted off at any given moment, do not occur to us. Your average non-military or police-trained gamer that has not had to develop the muscle memory, instincts, and reaction time for this sort of thing find themselves at a marked disadvantage. We've not had to grow up in this environment. We are the newcomers here. In a few years, there will be no room left for us on the VR multiplayer scale. And up to this point, this video has seemed pretty negative. Like I'm saying that we of the past flat screen generation will never be able to keep up with the kids, whose first introduction or a very close second introduction to video games has been VR. The idea of teaching an old dog new tricks, which applies to the vast majority of us who are in a financial situation to buy our own VR headsets, weighs heavily on us when we hear a child on the other end calling us losers. We bought these devices in order to step into other worlds, because we wanted to reach for that dream that we had as children. To leave our lives behind once in a while and experience our dreams for ourselves. But the opposition we are facing, the ones who are driving us into the dirt in-game, are the ones who never even had a chance to dream of stepping into their own worlds. The option for them to do so was only a financial obstacle away. Which leads me to the positive aspect of this video. There are two reasons in my mind why, in general, the older generation tend to suck at competitive VR multiplayer games. Option number one, we are naturally bad at it. Beyond the inability to play the games properly because of some physical disability, which is completely understandable as VR is a very physical medium in which to enjoy video games. But we are naturally bad at it, as we have spent too much time in the flat screen world and are still subconsciously existing within those parameters that we grew up in. Or option 2, which I think is the root of the problem and at the same time is the most positive aspect. We are productive members of society. The vast majority of VR gamers I know saved up and bought their own hardware, meaning they have jobs and at least some money to throw around. We have responsibilities that make us the cornerstones of the real world. Therefore, we do not have the time to develop the muscle memory and ingrain a quasi-video game / real-life logic that makes professional VR gaming possible. We have lives, friends, commitments, families, jobs. And I, for the most part, am pretty happy with my life. In all of its facets, both good and bad. And if being called a loser by a 12-year-old whose parents made them the happiest kid on earth for the short attention span that child had when first he unwrapped his new VR headset, in an era where I am not in a position to grow up in the same fantastical world that is humdrum and commonplace to him. That, my friends, is honestly a small price to pay if it means I get to keep my life in the real world and still step into my wildest dreams every once in a while. Now, I understand that this sounds a lot like I'm trying to cope with the fact that I was beaten by a child in game. The truth is, it was multiple children in multiple games. At first, I admit that I was a bit miffed at the thought, but looking at it logically, I am thrilled to know that there are people who get to grow up in an era with a technology that I as a child could only have dreamed of. Also, to all of you 12-year-olds out there will be vengeance. But before this video ends, I want to give a quick update on where this channel is headed and my plans for it in the future. First of all, the YouTube analytics show that ever since I stopped trying to upload every single day and actually spend time editing, trying to produce higher quality videos, views and subscribers have gone up. 107 at the time I write this. Know this is first and foremost a VR channel. I love doing reviews and little experiments and letting you guys know that games were voted best in the last month. But I'm broadening the horizon. For instance, I'm finally over my self-consciousness and plan on doing VR streams now and then. Also, I and my friends are working on doing a Discord game night session mostly focused on horror, but fear not. The content you guys know this channel for will continue. But a little experimentation and branching out will be happening soon. I want you all to know that I appreciate all of you. The subscribed and the not subscribed, which make up 90% of the viewers of this channel. I honestly never would have guessed that this channel would top 100 subscribers, and I am happy to keep bringing you guys content to watch. And in the end, thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, I will see you in the next one.